What up, though, man? First, your boy, 222. I want to talk about the UPS situation, and I don't know a lot about it. My insight is not going to be like I don't have a lot of insight about it. All I know is what I see. But I wanted to give my opinion about it because it's a tragedy. From what I can see, or what I read, so far there are 6 people lost their lives. One was the actual gunman. The other one was the actual UPS driver. And then there were 4, pretty much innocent people who were, I don't know, I guess they would consider them being caught in a crossfire. But when you see the picture of what happened, you're like, when you see the film of what happened, it was on the highway. I mean, you guys saw what happened. On the highway, I'm just going to say for those who haven't seen it yet, I mean, it's just such a terrible, terrible thing. Anyway, they were on the highway, the guy who hijacked the UPS truck. UPS guy was still in it. Police caught up to him and, killed the UPS guy, killed the person who, took his truck. And then 4 other people got caught in a crossfire, and the police ended their lives. And this is where I'm confused. This is where I have confusion on this part right here. Okay, so we have seen over and over, police videotape of them dealing with people who are extreme in one way or another. We've seen this. We've seen them set up and, do this whole thing, calling SWAT, or, whatever. And we've seen some protocol where the cops would hold on until, certain people got there, especially SWAT. Dogs, machinery, people who were heavily padded, heavily armed, where they're pretty much, there's not going to be a loss of life on the cop's side. Now, this man was stopped in traffic. That traffic's not going nowhere. He was driving a UPS truck. Here's my whole thing. Now, of course, all these cops, hundreds and hundreds of cops chase this guy. All these cops are on edge. When he finally caught up to this guy, I don't know who opened fire first. But if you open fire, on the police, they're going to open fire on you. My thing is, why wasn't there some kind of protocol like, we got this guy, he's pinned, he can't go anywhere. If he gets out and he runs, or if he, starts shooting, go ahead, take him down. You know what I'm saying? That's not what these cops did. They didn't call for, some type of SWAT or whatever. They got behind a moving car on one end. People were pretty much, they couldn't go nowhere either. Nobody could go anywhere. So it was behind a moving car. The people on the left side were behind a moving car. The cops were moving with the car. The cops and the people in the car don't know each other. They're not correlating this whole thing. They're trying to get out the way, but they can't go anywhere. But here's cops with M16s or AR. They're semi-automatic, so they're AR. M16 is an automatic. So there's guns drawn. There's people. They're looking right there. They open their door. There's a cop right there with an AR-15 shooting at the truck beside them. So they are right dead smack in the middle of it. And another car over there's another cop on the other side shooting. And then there's cops behind them. So these people they're in it. I don't know what people got hit. But I know if I was me, I'll be trying to get out of there too. But there was no luck in that. It was ducked down. But you see people trying to move their vehicles out the way. They can't get out of it. These people were trapped. They were trapped. They could not get out the way. They can't get out of their car. There are hundreds of cops pulling up, running up with their guns drawn, and then the bullets go flying. You can't get out your car. There's nothing. And 4 people lost their lives that had nothing to do with this. I'm saying it's clear that this man, it was a gunman. Very clear it was a gunman. Why? Why is there not a protocol set for a gunman other than to fire in traffic? Why was there not some other, I don't know, deployed where it was just so cowboyish, so cavalier? I mean, it's just like when we've seen videos where cops are driving down the street and there's one lone guy who isn't even armed and a cop fires through his windshield. Blah, blah. This guy isn't even armed, and then they kill him, and then a bunch of them get out and then try to resuscitate a dead body. We've seen this over and over. Listen, for those of you who think that, for those of you who believe that the police force is there to protect you, you have to start examining that and going, I'm an innocent bystander. My kids are in the car. We're on the highway, broad daylight, and you opened fire and killed 4 people. I can't say all police, but you gotta start questioning, one, the validity of the police force, because they were supposed to protect. They were there to go and get the bad guy, subdue him in some kind of way. This guy opens fire, okay, fine. It's a firefight. But how do 4 civilians plus the guy who was kidnapped? This guy the UPS driver was kidnapped. He was a hostage. They fired through, the truck is here. They were on this side. They fired through the truck. When you see the bullet holes on those trucks everywhere, they fired through the truck, hit the gunman, and then kept firing, hit the UPS guy. The gunman dies, and then the UPS guy is on top of him, from what I saw. You kept firing. I'm not saying all police are bad, but there were so many police shooting. Crazy. That we've seen so many police shootings, and you are well within your mind to be afraid of the cops. When you see them just take lives, innocent lives, you are well within your right to be scared as hell. Like, you don't want to listen. There are people who won't even serve cops. And I don't have an issue with all cops, but I don't want to talk to you. I'm afraid of you. And rightfully so. If I haven't done anything wrong, we are not going to hold a conversation, because anything I say can be held against me. Listen, I have a respect for the position because it's not easy. But for the people who pay you, you should not be murdering these people and then going good day's work. You should go to jail for the rest of your life. Whoever killed the hostage, whoever killed those 4 innocent people, there's 5 lives gone that were unarmed. 4 people had nothing to do with it. And I'm sure the UPS driver was thinking, okay, the cops are on you. This is over with. The cops are going to handle. I'm sure that UPS driver wasn't thinking, I'm about to die by the hand of the cop because the guy who took the truck didn't kill the UPS driver. You know what this guy was? It seems to me he was a package thief. I don't know the whole ordeal, but being a package thief is a real big thing now. It's huge because of Amazon. I think this guy was just like, screw it. Instead of getting one package, I'm going to take the whole truck. That's what I think this guy was. I think he was a package thief. And I don't have any pity for him. If you shoot at a cop, then they're going to come with the business. That's it. But for them to just spray and knock down 5 other lives. That's a massacre. That's a massacre to me. This is not good police work. This is not, we went and stopped a potential crime. We didn't go out and pretty much take the situation and de-escalate, which I think that's what the police is supposed to be doing. But I'm not a cop. They didn't de-escalate the situation, they escalated it. I just wanted to get that out because I have a healthy fear of even looking in the direction of a police. I got nothing. And I tried. I used to be that guy that, everybody needs it. I ain't trying to start nothing with them, but I'm not. I have nothing to say. I was at a fair and this lady cop spoke to me, said good morning. I kept going because anything could set them off. If they could just blatantly kill like this, I'm not going to talk to you. I'm not going to good morning. You might take it as a slight. I'm not going to look at you. I'm not going to engage with you. I'm not having, tabbouleh salad. We're not getting drinks. We're not nothing. I am staying away from you. If I didn't call you or you weren't called on me, then I'm not talking to you. We're not friends. We're not going to be friends. No. I might have to work with a few of them. That's fine. If you're needed there for whatever I have to do or whatever we have to do, I don't have an issue with that. But being associated, like we're going to be buddies or whatever, not even off duty. I had a girlfriend, she used to be a cop. She was cool as heck. She's like, I used to be a police. I was like, cool, but she was still about that 38 she had. She was a little nuts with it too. I'm just like, give a little, like, calm down. There was a raccoon outside one day and she heard noise and she went and grabbed her gun. I was like, I'm a full-grown 6'2", 250 man. Why don't you let me go and figure out who's at the door? She's like, oh, I'm sorry. I'm like, what am I doing here? You know what I'm saying? Like, I can scrap, just because I don't carry. Let me go down. So it's in them. You know what I'm saying? And I'm ex-military, so I get it. That gun is your best friend. But they killed 5 people. I can't overlook that. I can't look past it. And the only thing I can think of is why these people died like this is because of paid leave. All these other murders that are happening with people who they just gunned down in cars like they did Willie, guy who was sleeping in his car at a restaurant. And then they said he's reaching. This guy was asleep. He just happened to move and he was waking up and they blew him away. They surrounded his car and dusted this guy. 22-year-old black man. They shot that guy full of holes just because some cop said he's reaching. And they set it up so nice. There's a gun right there. We can't see it. Not to mention, what rule says that you're not allowed to have a gun if this guy's not a convicted felon? So even if you have a weapon to protect yourself, which is your Second Amendment, I believe, right? If you got one and then the cops approach your car, they can say reaching and just shoot you dead and figure everything else out later. And then go on paid leave. Because this is what's happening over and over and over again. They're just murdering people and then figure out, oh, you know what that was? That was a cell phone. That was a cell phone. It wasn't even a gun. Yeah. Then they go on paid leave. You're not even allowed to talk to them for 30 days. So they're just sitting up at the crib on vacation. And we're the ones paying them. We're paying that. You know, you don't even have to register your vehicle, but you know why most people register their vehicle? Because they don't want to get harassed. You don't have to register your vehicle, not according to the government. But if you don't, the cops are going to stay on you. Why? Because that money goes into their pockets. You know, it goes towards the city, but there's a lot of money that goes towards the police force. Well, the police force are killing people blatantly. I mean, stop me when I'm wrong. Somebody's going to look at this and be like, well, I disagree with what you say. Okay, what do you disagree with exactly? 5 people dusted off. What part of that you disagree with? 5. None of those people were shot, according to what I saw, by the actual gunman. Which means the police did more terrorizing and did more harm in that situation than the actual person who caused the problem. I'm just going off of what I saw, because there's more to it, I'm sure. I don't know everything. But de-escalation was not the plan. It wasn't protect and serve. It was go on vacation. That's what I'm saying. And I hope they get life in jail. I hope every single one of those cops who killed those people, I hope they sue the police department. And then I hope they personally sue the people who killed their people. And then I hope they go to jail for the rest of their life. Not no Amber Geiger 10 years, which turns into 5 years, but good behavior will turn into 2.5. No. I hope you go to jail for the rest of your life. That to me is justice. It's some kind of justice. But this whole 6 years, 7 years, that whittles down to, or they pay $50,000 and get themselves out of, no. I just can't believe what I saw. I just can't believe the police shot those people up like that. I just can't. And and some of you guys will say, oh, the whole thing was fake. Please prove that it was fake. Because you know what I saw? All I saw is I could have been any one of us. Just driving down the highway. Next thing you know, there's a damn UPS truck pulls up, 2 people in it, and then you're surrounded, and then there's a cop on your driver's side with an M16 pointing it over top of your car or be walking beside your car with it. That could have been anyone, any family. And now 4 people are dead from it, plus the actual hostage and the gunman. Paid leave. I'm not even going to clarify what paid leave is. All I know is you're getting paid and you're not there. You're not working. You're at home. And I think paid leave has sparked the police to act unbecoming. I'm not saying every cop. I'm saying that we're seeing a lot of, listen, I've seen some situations where somebody, like recently, Saw this guy in a hotel. Cops open the door. Woman comes out. The guy comes out the bathroom. And immediately, this guy's got 4 cops pointing guns at him. Let me see your hands. Like, that's legitimate. For whatever reason they were after this guy, I'm with you right there. Open the door, boom. Let me see your hands. Now, this guy should have went, boom, hands. They would have probably said, don't move or lay down on the ground. Boom, lay down on the ground. Boom. Come in, put hands behind the back, stand him up, figure out what's going on. I'm cool with that. I don't have not one issue with that, because if you're there on some old nonsense, then he's going to sue you in court, and he has the right to. And he lives. So I'm okay with that. You know what I'm saying? Where I'm not, now in this situation, the cops, 4 cops, they open the door, boom, let me see your hands. They didn't even shoot this guy until this guy went for a gun. And he went for a BB gun, and they were yelling at him, let me see your hands. Let me see your hands. Let me see your hands. That's the way it's supposed to be done. They were constantly telling this guy, let me see your hands. He's looking at them at the door, 4 guns drawn on him. This guy wanted to die by cop. And he pulls out a BB gun. Listen, we saw the police shoot a guy over a screwdriver. Okay, that was unnecessary. This guy opens the door. He comes to the door. He has a screwdriver in his hand. Boom, the cops draw on it. For a screwdriver? It's like that? No, those cops need to go to jail for life. But these cops who dealt with this hotel guy, they were in the absolute right. And I would have done the same. Let me see your hands. Let me see your hands. This guy pulls out a gun. You don't know it's a BB gun. Bam. I don't think I would have killed him, but I definitely would have capped him in the knee. I don't think the kill shot is necessary when there's 4 of you. You know what I'm saying? I think if you bust a guy in his kneecaps a couple times, you're going to stop him. Like, he's not going to focus on you. But we're seeing the kill shot so many times. I'm not a cop, but I don't get all these murders going on. You know what I'm saying? But I can almost justify that right there. I wouldn't have killed. I wouldn't have killed him. But I'd have definitely, he might have caught one in the stomach. He might have caught one in the stomach. And each one of those cops let go 1 round. They shot that guy in the head. That was it. They busted that guy in the head. Like I said, they're getting paid to kill us. They're getting paid to kill us. And look at the paradigm. We, the people, are paying taxes, right? State, city government, we're paying the taxes. Some of that tax money goes into buying more police equipment. These cops they make some money. This one cop was making over $280 a year. This cop was making money. He was ripping off the system, but nonetheless, he was still making. If this cop was saying he was working hours that he wasn't, but if he was actually working those hours like an honest cop, if he was actually working those hours, then that cop was, doing $280 a year or whatever it was. It was ridiculous. But found out he wasn't working those hours, but he was putting them in there. So these cops aren't getting paid pennies. They're getting paid good money. I'm just like, y'all getting paid really good money. Why even rip off the system? Heck, I wish I did make that much money. You know what I'm saying? I know being a cop is hard, but it's not hard to the point where you got to knock off 4 or 5 people. Who be drunk? I'm not drunk. I don't drink or smoke, so that's definitely not me. I'm just talking, man. Just talking about something that just moved me. I just couldn't believe I saw what I saw, man. Here's another thing. Those people who died, they could have been any color. Like you white people. You like you white listen, like you white people. Upstanding. Bro. Bro, it doesn't say I'm. It doesn't say I'm, it just say bro I. My bad, man. Bro, I be drunk. Oh, my bad, man. I'm sorry, I didn't read it. Oh, my bad. Yeah. Okay. Cool. Just don't drive. But you white people, like, I mean, just think about this. On a highway, broad daylight, right? Could have been anybody. Rich, poor, doesn't matter. Like what? Like when they can just slaughter anyone. And they didn't go out and just start busting guns at a bunch of black people. And I don't know if this guy was black or not. I don't think he was white. But the innocent people who died, you don't know what color they are. They're just caught in a ridiculous crossfire. So I'm just saying, like, we need to white people can't even go, oh, the police definitely will protect me because I'm white. Because we've heard them say it. That's the reason why I bring up the color. We've heard people say this recently. We've heard women get, oh, I'm a pretty white girl. No, that could have been you in the car. Remember that one chick who was about to get a ticket and she said, I'm a pretty white woman? She said, girl, actually. I'm a pretty white girl. She's a grown woman. But, you know, in this case, minimizing is, a good thing. And then the cop let her go. I'm a pretty white girl, don't you? And the cop let her go. Like, I'm a handsome black man. That don't gets me nowhere. It gets me thrown in jail. Gets me put in jail. I'm just like, bro. Like the pretty white girl can't even say that no more. She can't say that when bullets come flying at her and they don't care. They don't care. I don't care. I'm a pretty pal. This can't be life. Who's going to protect us? And when I say who, I mean everybody. I don't mean just black people, because we already know there's really, we already see the deal with us. We've been going through it since we've been here, since y'all brought us here. But we the people, who's going to protect us? Because they can just slaughter people. That was a slaughter that happened. That wasn't police work. That was a massacre. 6 people dead. That's a school shooting. That's a theater shooting. This is what that is. Look at the last school shootings. From Columbine all the way up. That is a school shooting that happened. But it was by the cops. Target practice. It was by the police. And it wasn't like it was one cop who did it. There were several cops shooting. That truck, the side of that truck looks like Swiss cheese. And there's blood everywhere in that truck. This cannot be, this is not. The American people need to do something. And it's dangerous to even talk that way, because we already know that, well, we know that the stark reality is anyone who tries to go against the police force and change what it is, they lose their lives. But it doesn't necessarily mean you have to change the police force, because we've been trying to change it for years. And it's still good old boys in blue. It's still a good old boy system. Sandra Bland, listen, if Sandra Bland doesn't convince you that there is no change in the police system, then you are living in another country under a rock in space. Because that Sandra Bland incident wasn't even wasn't an incident. They did that on purpose. They wanted everybody to know. No matter how many times we march, things are not going to change. That was a woman they did that to over a turn signal ticket. A turn signal infraction. They didn't even give her a ticket. They pulled her out the car, took her to jail, and she never left the jail. Who's going to protect us? If we can't drive down the street, broad daylight, on the highway, and not fear getting ambushed and surrounded by the police in middle America, what are we doing? Please don't say that, oh, it only happened once or whatever. How many? 6 bodies. There's 6 bodies left on that highway. There's 6 lives. There's 6 souls on the highway that will never leave the damn highway. How many more do we need to see before somebody does something? And I don't want to hear this police training. I don't want to hear it. Been trying to train police for the longest. This does not, no. It's just getting worse. I don't want to hear police training. They need to make examples of those people who killed those people, those officers who killed those people. And for the officers who were there who had restraint, they need to promote them. For the officers who knew not to fire while there's hundreds of cars around, hundreds of people around, for those officers who were on the scene to contain and were in their right mind. I have an AR-15. This is going to go through any vehicle, through the glass, through the metal. There's not a car out here that not only that bullet is going to travel through the car, in one end, out the other, and possibly hit another car and go right through that too. That bullet is going to move. It can probably cut through about 2 or 3 cars. Gah, 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 gah. And even if it hits you, slowing down, it can still do a lot of harm to you. It can kill you. For the officers who had restraint, those are the officers who need to be promoted. The ones who are in their right damn mind. I was like, wait a minute, I have a Glock 40. This Glock 40 is gonna, let me give you an example. There was, happened last year. There was a guy, I don't know, one city, is in New York, I think it was in New York. He was across a river. What he did was, he had, I think it was a 38. And he took that 38 and he fired it across the river up at a high-rise building. It hit like one of the higher floors. Pow! From across the river. It was a good distance. Plow, shot that window right out. With a 38. You know what a Glock 40 is going to do at close range. Isn't that what the police carry now, Glock 40? at close range. That Glock 40 is going to go right through one of those little Cadillac doors, what we driving now, cut right through one of these windows like it's nothing. We've seen it over and over and over again. Reaching, boom, 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 cut right through the door, cut right through the glass. Anybody in that car, when they say reaching, is finished. Those are Glock 40s that they're running around with, let alone an AR-15. Listen, I used to shoot an M16 when I was in the Army. And when we were doing target practice, we learned that the M16 bullet skips. This is why it's so dangerous. Your opponent, especially when you're fighting in the Middle East, they're going to fight with assault rifles too. But those guns just make a big hole and hit you, boom, big hole, right? The M16 especially, this is why it costs 20 G's. The M16 is a different shade of soul. Instead of hitting you in your leg and blowing your leg off, which, could be fatal as well, or you could live through that, it's going to hit the femur and then come up out of your left shoulder because it hits the bone and it bounces around in your bone, tears up your organs, and it comes out another area. We learned this. We also when we couldn't hit the target, we would hit below the target because we knew that bullet was going to ricochet and do all kind of crazy stuff. This is what we did. And you have an AR-15 out there. I'm thinking this AR-15, I don't think it's less powerful. It's just not an automatic. Right? I mean, one of you gurus is going to tell me how powerful an AR-15 is according to the M16. I know the AR-15, depending on which one, is cheaper than an M16. M16 runs, like I said, Army issue is about 20 G's. So there are different levels of AR-15s. But I'm saying just when you just psychoanalyze and then it's just a daunting thought that this actually happened. What happened to the barriers the police have? What happened to all the cars hanging back? The truck is not going nowhere. What happened to the metal strips, making sure the truck can't go nowhere? What happened to telling everybody in the car, the cars around them, to get out of your car? What happened to that before we're firing? What happened to the special teams being called in with the right outfits and then rolling up the right way, Roman style, in a phalanx or something? We've seen cops do this. We've seen the cop blow this one guy away, and then they did that whole move. And the knife. He shot that black man, boom. And then they rolled up, did this whole thing like, I hope each and every one of you burn in hell for what you did to that man. But this case is, I don't know if the guy was black or not. But what happened to that? What happened to the Kevlar helmets? What happened to there's different levels of little breastplate things y'all got. There's different levels. Some of them are only made for handguns. Some of them are made for, we knew that this guy had a handgun, but you could have sent in the tough guys who spray bullets and nobody knows who they are. What happened to that guy? Where's those guys at? And you simply give orders, let the hostage go, surround the truck, let the hostage go. No, none of that. We know the guy is armed. We know he has a hostage. We don't want the hostage to die. Back off a little bit. Give the truck some space, because if you run up on him, he's going to start firing. Then the hostage can die. We're not trying to kill an innocent UPS man. I don't know. Maybe I'm wrong. What happened to, the police car barrier? Everybody gets out, opens the door, fix themselves, calls in the big boy. The big boy should have already been on their way. They show up, you know what I'm saying? Make a hole, people come through, 20 deep. Ain't no handgun getting through whatever they got. Bullhorn pops out. They give you orders. Get out the car and get on the ground. Drop your weapons. Let the hostage go. None of that. None of that good stuff. Let the hostage go. Hostage jumps out. Boom, boom, boom. Going to see his family again. Grateful for the police. Thank you very much. Thank you very much, officers, men and women of the police force. We appreciate you. I appreciate you. I'm going to see my daughter and my son grow up, go to college and all that other stuff, have grandkids, and live a long and prosperous life, die and then go to heaven, with my Lord. Thank you very much for what you've done. I'll be back to work. I'm a little shaken up, but I'll be back to work in a couple days. UPS will give me a couple days off, and I'll be right back to work. Thank you very much. What happened to that? You know what I'm saying? Get a guy orders, he drops the gun, comes out, hands up, gets down on the ground. You know what I'm saying? If he goes for the gun, police dog right there, hundreds of cops right there. You weren't short of firepower. What happened to that? I just feel so bad that these people lost their lives over paid leave. Oh no, I'm just talking, man. But listen, I'm past afraid. I was afraid when the Pittsburgh police shot Johnny Gamage or cracked his neck, pulled him out of the car and cracked his neck because he was driving a nice car. That was owned by a Pittsburgh Steeler. I was afraid then. I was afraid in '98 when they beat me up and cracked my skull and broke my finger and bruised my ribs for no reason. I was afraid then. I'm past fear. I'm moving to another country fear. I'm getting the hell out of America. That's my message. You can't win. You can't fight against them. They're just going to murder you and laugh about it. Every black person in America knows somebody who's either been murdered by the police or been beat up by the police or falsely imprisoned by the police, had their vehicle and their kids or their home taken away by the police. Your wife. They're taking wives. Put the man in jail and then take the wife. This happens by the police. Take the wife. Wait a minute. The police see you. They want your wife. So they falsely imprison you and then go home and tell the wife, if you don't do what we say, then you're not going to see your husband again, and then have sex with the wife constantly while you're in prison. This has actually happened on so many occasions. Recently, like a couple days ago, two police officers were, called to a scene where a woman was dead. She was dead in an apartment. And the one police officer turns off his body cam, you've seen he was alone, turned his body cam off and starts feeling this woman's breast. Recently, a young white woman, barely in her 20s, the police stopped her and her man and put her in the back of the car, and she gets shot in the mouth, the back of her head blown off, and the police said she did it. And this was a white girl. And they don't have any body cam. At some point in time, the body cam's going and then the body cam gets cut off. They assassinated that girl. and then said she committed suicide. I just don't know. All I'm saying is, look, that example put the fear of God in me something. And then there's the Lord. I've been praying like, Lord, you got to do something about it. I don't even pray that no more. I don't even say, Lord, please stop this. I ask the Lord to protect people. That just God has His own ways, but we've seen it's just going rampant. Lord, just protect me, because it clearly isn't going to stop just because I prayed to the Lord to please stop this. The cop who fired into a church when those cops were getting killed in Chicago, he just went to a church in his underwear, in his skivvies, got out his car, opened fire on a black church full of people. You can't even go to church. You can't go to church. Those people had nothing to do with the cops who were dying in Chicago. But they opened fire on a church. People seeking the Lord. You don't have respect for God. You have no respect for God, the Almighty, the King of Kings, Lord. You have no fear of God. God. It doesn't register to you that this is the Lord's house. You fire a gun in here, hit one of his children. He's going to put you in a bowl of molten lava and just watch you cook for an eternity. There's no fear of this. I can't even look at a big booty girl without feeling that God is disappointed that I'm looking at this big booty woman. Like, man, she packing it. And I get kind of, oh, my bad, Lord, but burger, she got some beef. And let alone purposely go to a church and open fire as if God wasn't in the house. Get out of the country. Stop waiting for it to happen to you. I've already started researching what countries I want to move to. After seeing this, that effort has stepped up. I'm just trying to get my ducks in a row, so I'm right. I may have to work, a couple of years at something to get my money up, but run. Stop waiting for it to get better. It's not. Stop waiting for the government to step in, and it's not. Don't wait for Donald Trump to be impeached. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. Don't wait for some type of federal intercession, or don't wait for the police to police the police. Don't get out of the country. I can't afford to leave, or I would leave. Go to a country where this is just not happening and live a whole life in peace instead of living in fear. When I find me a country that I want to live in and my money's right, I hate to leave the place that I was born and that I know, but I don't want to die by some angry cop like they killed Pleasance. They just shot him in the head. And the cop got an award for it. He just stood there, held a gun to him, and shot him. Blew his head off. Pleasance was just standing there. That cop just. The angels of the Lord are alive and well. They're going to toss you into a lake of fire. There's not one thing you can do about it. I'm afraid of the Lord. Even when I want to, I want to go out and, punch somebody in the face. I got to think about, does the Lord want me to punch this person in the face? There are plenty of people I'd like to punch in the face. Get out of the country.